Let's check out some more Oldhammer artwork, because I know that you like it. You love it. Rightio, so this is going to be a shorter video than usual, but I know that you guys like your 40k artwork, so we will be pressing on regardless. So first up, we have this Imperial Guardsman on a motorbike by Aly Morrison. And I think this might actually be the first time I've ever seen a piece of Aly Morrison's artwork on the channel, so remember this moment well. I'm sure we probably have seen his artwork, but I just wasn't aware of it. Now, I believe this artwork to be based on the miniature released around the same time. It was an Imperial Guard medic on bike. These old bikes are quite interesting, and I have to say I really like the look of them. Sometimes they have little spikes on the tyres, which I think is more of an orc thing nowadays. Now, for some weird reason, the exhaust pipe goes into the mudguard and then comes back out. It is very strange. Is there anything like that on a real motorbike out there in the world? Don't forget to notice the little bolters under the front wheel. Hopefully they're attached quite well, otherwise they might fall off if you go over a couple of bumps. Next up, it's another bike by Aly Morrison again, and this time it's a trike. We know it's a trike as it has 3 wheels. Riding the trike is a squat. The squats played a big part in the very early days of Warhammer 40,000, known then as a rogue trader, and vanished for years quite soon after. They are now back with a new name, the Leagues of Votann, but sadly they're nowhere near as cool as what they were. Gone are the awesome flak jackets, trikes, and land trains. Now we have Ninja Turtle party wagons and flying shavers. No joke. It looks like the squat is crashing his trike into the side of the frame of the picture, which isn't surprising as he's wearing a mask. I don't know how he sees through that. I guess it's supposed to be a visor of sorts. The wheels on that trike are absolutely massive, and I think that's why they look so good. I'm a big fan of anything with big wheels. There's some people in the back of the picture, either waving or dying. I can't quite tell. What do you think? Now, do you think we will ever see the return of some of those old squat units from the Rogue Trader era and the Epic era as well, such as the land trains, the gyrocopters, which apparently look like praying mantises, manti, however you say that word, and maybe the Overlord armoured airship, my hand's in the way, the Goliath mega cannons, they apparently dab, look like Usain Bolt, or maybe even the Cyclops. That was a good one, wasn't it? I remember when that came out and they tried to sell me one in the store, and I didn't even collect squats, but I wish I'd bought it because those things go for a pretty penny nowadays on eBay. What was my question? Do you think we'll ever see the return of any of those old exciting units? I certainly hope so. Are you upside down? No, I thought it was upside down for a moment. This next picture by an unknown artist features a couple of robots having a scrap. The robot on the left is my favourite type of old robot, as it looks really weird. They have a sort of bug-eyed insect look to them. The new version of that, I think, is known as the Vorax Automata. He has a really spindly arm and either massive feet or big lower legs. I can't quite tell. On the right is what I think might be a Colossus or maybe Conqueror class robot. He has a huge hammer for a hand, which looks in this case to be made of stone instead of metal. I love the look on this robot's face. It's probably just a paint job, but he does look amusing. He reminds me of one of the Battle Toads. 10 internet cookies if you can remember those guys. In the background is another robot who appears to be ejecting his own head. Either that or he's grown a big lion's mane, which I doubt. Okay, so here we have a small marine surrounded by some big, taller robots. It's a composition I feel I've seen recently somewhere. Again, I don't know who the artist is. If you do know, then please let us know in the comments below. The Space Marine is wearing Mark 6 armour, which is era appropriate, but I can't see any chapter markings or anything. All the Marines around this time had the exact same crew cut style haircut. Nowadays they're allowed sort of different haircuts, either that or they're bald. The Marine also appears to have replaced his left hand with a brick. I'm not sure what's going on there. The robots have various pieces of graffiti on them. Zabi, and I've not seen that used before or since. Does anyone know what Zabi means? Oh, and there's Raw. Rules as written. Maybe this is a rules discussion. Now the robot in the top right of the picture appears to be wet. What is he covered in? Lubricant? Oh, actually a few of them have it. That's strange. Now it seems to me, and probably to you, that they have been updating all those old robot miniatures into more contemporary versions of them. My favourite, the bug-eyed one, with the big balls on the side of his face, he is now known as the Vorax Automata, I believe, and I think a few of the other robots, such as in the Mechanicum, are newer versions of those old robots. But which ones are actually left to do? I think the square Duplo block with legs and arms still needs redoing. Although it might have been done, I just don't recognise it. So this is a very interesting picture up next. It's by Tony Ackland, I think, but I can't be sure. It appears to be showing a robot having his biological components fitted to an amniotic sac or something. It looks disgusting, and I think that's why I like it. It looks a bit like the scene when they're trying to remove the facehugger from Kane in the movie Alien. Knowing all the Alien references in Warhammer 40,000, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case. The medic, or tech adept, or whoever that is, doesn't look overly 40k. He looks like your typical contemporary movie doctor. He's even wearing a mask and that thing they have on a headband. What even is that? A monocle of sorts? It sometimes has a big mirror there too, right? Or have I misremembered? Anyway, I like this one. Next! Now, speaking of influences, such as Alien and Aliens, what other influences have you spotted in the Warhammer 40,000 universe? We're going to ignore Dune, because that's the obvious one where they stole pretty much 90% of the background from. Go and have a look at the Dune timeline. You'll find it's very similar to the 40k timeline. Someone once told me the Rhystic pattern lasgun from back in the day that the Imperial Guard and squats used is actually the gun that Rogue Trooper uses in the 2000 AD comics, which I've never read. Are they worth watching? Let us all know in the comments below. I do enjoy this next piece. I like the dynamism. This one is by Pete Knifton. Pete Knifton, who is very nifty, has done some amazing work over the years. I think we've done a video on him before. Here's a link. This time the piece features a robot with his Space Marine buddy. A bit like a Lethal Weapon, but instead of Mel Gibson, it's a robot, and instead of Danny Glover, it's a Marine. I suppose it could actually be Danny Glover in there. Would Danny Glover make a good Space Marine? There's no chapter markings on that Marine, so I can't tell you what chapter or legion he's from. In the background, I can also see the front of a Rhino, again with no chapter logo. Oh, and the nub of another Marine's backpack in the foreground. This appears to depict a battle of sorts, as everyone's firing at the same thing. Well, unless their boss gave them a stupid order and they decided to rid themselves of him. Boss. Do Space Marines have bosses? Bonk. It's a bonking robot, bonking some orcs. This piece of art is by Tony Ackland. What I find fascinating is the orc in the foreground. Check out his armour. It's like what the engineers in Prometheus are wearing. It looks a bit Geiger-esque. That's not surprising, as I feel Geiger should have been paid for his contributions due to the amount of stuff that got borrowed for Warhammer 40,000 in the early years. Now I can't tell if the robot's hand is destroyed or if that's the robot's bonking victim. Is bonking even the right term for hitting things with hammers? Also, the robot has a big belly button, and I've never noticed that before. Now, when filming in this new room here, I'd say it's new, it's not that new, I've been using this flash dust magnet, and it's crap. I can't get the fluffy bit on the tongs very well. Look at this thing, it's terrible. There we go, it suits me better as a wig. The weird thing is, when you're looking at the tongs, I don't know if you can make that out there in the light, but it says, if you're enjoying this video, then please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. That means you, Aaron, you're going to get whipping if you don't. Ah, stings. If you are enjoying the content here on the channel, then please consider joining the Patreon, the link to which is in the description below or up here somewhere. This is a very busy piece, isn't it? It really smacks you in the face. I love it. It's by Knifton again. Did I mention I really like his work? Again, we have another tag team duo, and instead of Lethal Weapon this time, it could be Crockett and Tubby. Tubby. Got to love my autocorrect. Tubbs. Who used to watch Miami Vice back in the 80s? I did love that TV show. I think I liked the cars in it more though. Also, in your opinion, who was better? Crockett or Tubbs? Extra internet cookies if you can name Crockett's pet alligator. Anyway, back to the picture. The Marine again is unrecognisable. I can't tell which chapter he is from, which is a bit of a shame. There's a big logo thing in the top right, but I can't tell what it's even on or anything. I thought it was a shape in the smoke. The robot looks massive and again has a big bonking hammer. Aha! There might be an indicator. He seems to have a Flesh Eaters logo on his shoulder. So maybe these guys are Flesh Eaters. There's also some era appropriate graffiti again. Kill with one L, which we see a lot, and also turbative clavitatives mortis. I've no idea what that means. It looks like a cross between Latin and Roman numerals. What do you guys reckon? If you know what it says, please let us all know in the comments below. Okay, so which of those Oldhammer pieces of artwork was the best? I'm going to go with the old squat on a trike, because squats and trikes are awesome. We don't want no flying shavers around here, thank you very much. If you want to see some more Oldhammer artwork videos, I know you do. Let me put this down before it hurts someone. And check out the playlist up here somewhere. As always, thank you very much for watching, and always remember to drill your barrels. And don't ever use a flash powered dish mop magnet. I can't remember the name.